Young ladies and gentlemen, greetings to you all from your respective locations. This is the top story in international news, in fact, global news, this reaction from Russia that is making headlines in all the media. Yes? So, France, in what appears to be a reversal, has gone so far as to threaten Russia. And France is not alone in making this threat. It is backed by the European Union. France is supported by its allies. This so-called coalition of volunteers. We don't know why are these people volunteering. But the real truth is that they want to engage in a direct conflict with Russia. But at times, they need to give the impression that they are not interested. After trying to negotiate, Vladimir Putin's Russia agreed to a ceasefire. France added threats. If Russia refuses the 30-day ceasefire, Russia will face very severe sanctions. The old Russian money, that is the money frozen in Brussels, they will use it to buy weapons and give them to Ukraine. In any case, they are ready to make an advance payment for the continuation of the conflict. And so, they threatened Russia. While Russia is in the process of expanding its address book. The Russian leaders are at this very moment signing several agreements with many nations. It hurts them, it shocks them. They pretended to change sides to want peace, but that's not enough for them. So Russia, through the Kremlin spokesperson, Dmitry Peskov, responded curtly to France. And here we go. The Big Bang is here. So, in this video conference, ladies and gentlemen, that's what we're going to talk about. But I humbly ask you to share the video conference as much as possible. Give it lots of likes. A lot. Above all, don't forget to always leave your opinion in the comments. It's this combination that makes the video conference what I say here, and the details you add in the comments. For those joining for the first time, please subscribe so you don't miss out on the latest international news. Let's go. What did the Kremlin spokesperson, Dmitry Medvedev, have to say? That is the response he gave to France. If Emmanuel Macron understood things. He says this: there is no contact between Moscow and the French President Emmanuel Macron. That's how he starts. And do you know what Macron did yesterday? He organized, I don't know what, a parade, a demonstration on the Champs-Élysées yesterday. It's very sad. Go and look at the footage. That's why Russia doesn't even consider them anymore. While Russia was holding its demonstration, Macron also wanted to put on a show. You see him on the Champs-Élysées, he gets out of the car, he raises his hand, and there is no one in the streets. It's only those motorcyclists who are there. So what does Dmitry Peskov say? There is no contact between Moscow and the French President Emmanuel Macron. That means we can't even communicate with Macron. There aren't even any channels of communication. That means what he said. It's just words, empty words. It's just snake oil. It's useless. He goes on. It should be noted that he made this statement on the Pervy channel while commenting on Paris's threats to impose additional sanctions. He says this: we have no channels of dialogue with the French president, but we do have certain channels of dialogue with Washington. That means France is nothing compared to Russia. At least the United States is almost on the same level of power as Russia. There, they can communicate with the United States of America. And as proof, by the way, they already have some communication channels that allow them to have a dialogue. But they have no channels of dialogue with France. That means, why is France getting involved? What is Emmanuel Macron doing in this? Why is he inserting himself into it? He has no place there. So, what does Dmitry Medvedev say next? He says, we do not have channels of dialogue with the French president, but we do have certain channels of dialogue with Washington, and we discuss various issues. So what is Peskov going to add as well? He added that Kiev had not responded to President Vladimir Putin's proposal to engage in talks without preconditions. So, Russia, for its part, is ready to engage in talks with Ukraine without preconditions. So that means Russia is following the ideology of the United States of America. In any case, Russia is ready for dialogue. But Russia cannot have a dialogue with France. What does France represent? If France also represented something, there would be a channel of communication between France and Russia. But for the moment, there isn't one. So, here is the simple, very simple statement, but one that says a lot, that Russia has just given to French President Emmanuel Macron and to the European Union, since Emmanuel Macron has declared himself to be the voice of Europe, and Russia is well aware of all that. Well, Russia already knows that Emmanuel Macron, in his heart, in his own interest, does not want peace. He wants the conflict to continue. He is just looking for arguments so that later he can say, no, Russia is not ready for dialogue. That's why Dmitry Peskov specifies, we have no channels of communication to engage in dialogue with France. First of all, this means that France is not important. But secondly, when Macron and France are champions of falsehoods when they start lying, by saying that it's Russia, that Russia doesn't want negotiations. Otherwise, France would have proposed. Russia is already warning that there is no channel for negotiations or dialogue with the French president. So whose fault is it? Is it Russia that doesn't want there to be a channel for negotiations? Or at least a channel for dialogue? The answer is no. It's France that doesn't want it. That's it. If France shows the desire, there will be a communication channel, though just as America has shown the desire. But France thinks it is so strong and powerful. France is so convinced it is right that it refuses to take the first step. And that's why it will always be left out. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was the top story in international news. For all those who haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe to the page. I'll be back with more news shortly. By the grace of the Almighty, this was the voice of your one and only Samurai.